this when I was on my bike. I was biking a lot of commission.
Okay, it's it's 1:00. This is the regular meeting of Commission of the Town of Chesapeake Beach. I see that all members are present. Also present is the town clerk and the committee's council. So we're ready to proceed, and the meeting is now in session. Would everybody please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? The agenda has been distributed. Are there any? The agenda is approved. Now to the substance. We have seen the minutes of the previous meeting, of which the memory has almost faded into the distant past. It's May 11th. Is there any comment on the minutes? Okay, minutes are approved unanimously. The next agenda item, complete review of disclosure statements. At the last meeting, we went through the disclosure statements and identified a largish number of minor errors, omissions, and other deficiencies of that kind. They were subsequently remedied largely by the work of Sharon Hum, our clerk. I met with her. We went over all the corrections, and we found that everything is in order except for very few exceptions that I will mention presently. In the meantime, I ask for the Commission's approval that we can close this chapter rather than, as a body, go over the various corrections, which would be. So if you're willing to accept my representation that we did this.
Yes.
That would be here we are. There were 3 disclosure statements which were either deficient or had not yet been submitted. We prepared dunning letters to the laggards, to which we not yet found a response. And we also have 2 newly appointed members who have not submitted the disclosure statement. The ordinance says that it has to be 30 days of their appointment, but there was a glitch in the communications between the town management and this commission, so we are somewhat late in sending the requests to the new members. But that has been done, and I suppose that short time they will submit the disclosure statements. Are there any further questions, discussion? it is somewhat delicious to think about what we would do if the laggards simply stonewall and don't send us anything. Technically, theoretically, we could levy fines. We could also go down to the courthouse and ask a judge to give them an order on pain of jail if they disobey it. But these are just theoretical considerations at this point. Okay, let's move on to the next next item. This is just a reporting item. The state requires an annual certification in a prescribed form that we have complied with, that the town has complied with the ethics ordinance and various technical matters. The statement will be due by October the 1st. October 1st, not October 31st.
October 1st.
And there is nothing for this body to decide. In the past, I have simply signed it, and I'm confident that we are fully in compliance with the state's requirements. Next item, I want to talk somewhat about public disclosure obligations of town officials. The last round of our review of the disclosure statements indicated that there might be, uncertainty on the part of the filers, what this is about and why we are doing that. Part of the remedy of that would be the revision of our disclosure forms, which we'll talk about in a couple of minutes. In the meantime, your package includes a draft of a one-page information sheet that could be given to the town officials, not only those who are newly appointed, who may not even know, and at least not in any detail, that we have this disclosure obligation. The incumbent officials, they know it, they have their learning experience, and I don't know whether the whole why and wherefore was ever explained to them prior to them taking office. So as partial remedy of this, we have this this one sheet memorandum that's part of your package. And what I would like to do is get the Commission's approval to submit this to the town management. It's the town administrator who handles these things, and suggest that they pass it along and give it, if not to the existing officials, but at least to any new appointees. And I would like to represent to the administrator that this is heartily endorsed by the Ethics Commission. Can I do that?
Mr. Chairman, first off, I think it's a great idea. It's a great idea that you drafted this, and thank you very much for it.
Okay, so you're saying let's do it.
Absolutely. It's very good in formalizing the process.
All right, we will proceed accordingly. The next agenda item is a discussion of the procedure for officials who have left office in this past year, there had been nothing in place. And what we are proposing is that we will just give them one sheet, which has two parts. One is the information that you supplied with the previous, your latest disclosure statement. Is that information still accurate? And if the answer is no, then we ask them to describe any new information. The form for that is part of your package. It's one sheet, and we think that that would help to get compliance by the officials who have left, who otherwise don't have any particular incentive anymore to give us any information. All right, we'll send this also to, we'll use this form, let me put it this way. And next agenda item, the amendments of public enclosure statement. And this is something we already discussed at some length at our last meeting. I believe we have an understanding that yes, revision is necessary. We talked about some specific points. In particular, one that stands out is that the basic questions that are stated not only in the list of questions that is a part of our disclosure package, but that we enlarge the individual schedules by repeating the question as well as any instructions that may pertain to that particular schedule. So that is, we already agreed on that, and I believe I'm somewhat delinquent because I told you that I would sit down and provide proposed edits for the whole disclosure package. That work has begun, and again, I point with gratitude to Sharon here, who has produced the marked up copy that's part of your package. But I see no good reason why we should discuss these partial edits now before you have the whole package.
Agreed.
And so I will do what I already promised to do and send it to you expeditiously, well ahead of our next meeting,
Thank you, Peter.
whatever that will be.
Thank you.
Lost my agenda. I did not. Here it is. We're getting to the end of the ENGER. Any additional matters? And we have person here. If you want to bring this up or do it at some later time.
Yeah, we can speak on a later time. I believe it may be out of y'all's
Okay.
purview.
Very good. Anything that anyone wants to bring up?
What was the term of how long were the closures of past elected officials?
I'm sorry, I can't quite hear you.
How long was the disclosures for the past term, like for terms, the disclosures of persons that left office? For how long was that?
I'm sorry.
Is it for the period of
For persons that were elected that have out of office, is it for a 4 years, 8 years? The length of time,
It will be for that calendar year, I would think.
just one calendar year or election cycle?
Are you asking on the post?
Yes.
How
I think that's a very wonderful
Well-
idea. I like that.
But you have to remember that every official and official elected appointed need to file every year.
For how many years is what I was asking.
Each year, every year they have to file a new form.
After they leave offices.
Now, while they're in office, once they leave office, they have to file something for the period of time from the last form they filed until the end of their appointment or employment with the town. So they filed for 2022. If they leave today, they'll have to file for January 1 through,
Just through their contractual time. Okay.
Next item, next regular meeting.
what time frame, Peter, are you thinking?
Um,
You have to do the revisions again by April 1, as I recall. Any changes?
Oh, yeah.
Right. But
Yes, that is
that's the
outline,
ultimate, that's the ultimate goal. Yeah, right.
But I don't think we should push that envelope. There was a time in the past when this commission had more or less regular meetings monthly. Lately, there has been no occasion to do this. Everybody is behaving well.
We're looking at October, late October, perhaps? The week of the 30th, October 30th?
Day of the week is the 30th.
30th is a Monday.
Make it on October 30th.
Have a conflict.
And moving into November.
well, it could be some other time that week unless you want to keep to a Monday.
Like 31st. How does that
31st is
look?
good. 31st is good.
Okay, October 31st.
Sharon, that okay?
I'll check the town calendar, but I think so.
And we'll have this room again at the traditional 1 o'clock hour.
Yes.
And as usual, to conclude this, comments by commissioners and members of the public, if there are any comments.
You don't have any comments?
Usually I make an announcement of something amusing but trivial, but this time I couldn't come up with anything amusing nor trivial.
Well, Taste of the Beaches was very nice. I had the opportunity to attend that. It was a very well-organized event by the town, I thought.
Okay, we stand adjourned.
Good meeting.
Short and sweet, huh?
Yeah.
And it was close enough to bike back here. Glad that was close enough when I saw the calendar notice that there's a meeting. was on the heels